Hello once again, everybody, and welcome to the Manny Diaz Show. Joe Zagacki alongside University of Miami head coach Manny Diaz and my broadcast partner Don Bailey Jr. It's Florida State week, but we're also looking back at a great win against the Louisville Cardinals. Coach, congratulations on the win. And first thing that came to my mind right from the get-go, right from when you took the field and led the team out in the field, you looked like Miami Hurricanes on Saturday night playing in a big game.
Yeah, it was great. It was great to have the national stage. College game day, the whole deal, and it just shows our players, things happen fast in college football, and but things can go fast in either direction. So you had to take advantage of the opportunity that we had, and I thought our kids started very fast. We had a great first quarter, and we were able to ride it out from there.
Man, it looks like energy-wise there was consistency through almost the entire game. It lagged a little bit, of course, in the fourth quarter, but overall the energy was fantastic, and offensively, defensively, and we will get to special teams, but talk to us about the first game on the road and how the guys adapted to it.
Yeah, I think our energy has been really good. This team, through two games, seems as though they really enjoy playing with each other and they enjoy playing for each other. Our attention to detail, we have a hard time staying focused for 60 minutes, but I don't think it's due to a lack of energy. Our effort has been outstanding. I thought we played harder, longer than our opposition. If we get the attention to detail thing and be able to really lock in every drive we go out there, I think the team gets it. I think they know that there's a whole lot more growth potential out there.
So many different talking points in the game, Coach, but you mentioned the energy level, and one of the things that struck me looking at the bench, and I kind of compare it to watching, I know one of your favorite teams, the Miami Heat. I watch them in the bubble, and I look at their bench, how engaged they are. I think that's really important. I look at your sideline, how engaged everybody was the other night, and the joy that your team is playing with.
And I think that is always important, but in 2020, it's 10 times more important because the fans are not all going to be there. You have to be, your own energy. You've got to bring it on your own. And if you're not if you're a team that's not very well connected and you don't want to bring that, it's going to be a real negative. So you can see it in the locker room before the game, for sure. You can see it after the game. The two victorious locker rooms we've had the last couple of weeks, the guys are really enjoying playing with each other.
Manny, all the years that we spent together, when you were the defensive coordinator, you always talked about don't give up the big play, don't give up the big play. Well, you've got an offense that's nothing but big plays, 75 yards. You had a 74-yard play actually called back with Will Mallory. How invigorating is that, and how much energy does that infuse to the entire team?
Well, we have, we call it our plan to win, and we go through it every week. We say if we accomplish these things, we will win the football game. And the number one thing is to win turnovers, not just the amount, but the points off of turnovers. And number two is to win the explosive plays. Those two numbers go so much hand in hand with actual wins and losses. And look, Louisville has maybe the most explosive offense in the country. That's what the data said. Their quarterback was number one in the country in pass yardage per completion a year ago. But their explosives didn't go for touchdowns. We had 4 explosive plays that went for touchdowns. And when you can create those points and not have to go on a 10-play drive or a 12-play drive time after time, that's how you get the big score. And that ultimately is why I think we were able to run away with the lead that we were able to do.
And one of the things Don and I talked about going into the game is defensively, we thought if you hit your averages, with your tackles for losses, your sacks, your turnovers, all the things that University of Miami defense does, you would win. And you did hit all those averages with the tackles for losses, the sacks, 3 sacks. And, of course, we got to see the turnover chain 3 times. Maybe we start there because it's a beautiful turnover chain once again.
Yeah, it was nice to finally have it come out, and normally when it comes out 3 times during the course of a game, it's going to be a good night for the Canes. We went with the state of Florida. It's kind of, us paying tribute to Coach Schnellenberger and how it all started with the state of Florida, thought process and recruiting. But when it's sitting in that trunk, it's not helping us any. So the fact that it was out there and Al Blades got it going with a great interception, how fitting that'd be a guy like Al. And the all-important plays that really helped us, turn the tide of the game.
Coach, one of your defensive players, Bubba Bolden, he was ACC Player of the Week, but 11 tackles, tackle for loss. he was everywhere, and the range that young man has is very, very impressive.
Yeah, Bubba played very hard. He was sideline to sideline. Louisville's offense puts a ton of stress on the safeties because every play there's either a motion adjustment or they're going to line up in condensed formations. And at times, they're so good running the ball, your safeties have to really do a great job of getting the ball on the ground. And my favorite part about Bubba's performance was the day after when he texted me and said, "Coach," he said, "I can be so much better. I don't even think I played that well." And what's crazy, people have to remember with Bubba, that's his first full game he's played in who knows how long. We only had him for a couple, 3 or 4 games a year ago. And so just for him to get back in the mix and be a guy that can contribute down for down was fun for him and fun for us.
We got to talk about Jose Bora Galas, your field goal kicker. 4 for 4, 57-yard field goal. And I got to give you a lot of credit, Coach, for showing all this confidence. I mean, after last year, maybe some coaches might be gun-shy to send a kicker out there from 48 and 57 yards, but you had a conviction you have a conviction with him and sent him right out there.
Well, I get to see him every day in practice. And we knew that there was a little bit of wind helping us in that direction. And, Jose was mad at me at the end of the first half of the UAB game. He wanted a shot at a long field goal when we ended up attempting to throw the Hail Mary. So I felt like I kind of owed him one. And you know what? I trusted his leg power. And I felt with the wind it wouldn't be an issue. And man, he knocked it right through the clown's mouth. So our sideline, if you just watch the reaction of our sideline and just the players' reaction, that might have been not. Jose's reaction was pretty cool too. He's a pretty cool dude, but the sideline, I mean, there wasn't a guy that wasn't jumping up and down the side. They were really excited for Jose to knock that through.
Coach, Corey Couch got extended playing time and maximized it. I believe he's six tackles on the chart. A young man that was redshirted last year, and his play got elevated this past week. He looks like he's going to fit right in there at that corner spot.
Yeah, Corey's going to play more and more. He's fearless. Highly competitive player, which you have to be to play out there. And then for not being a guy that's super big in stature, he will throw his body around. He actually forced 2 fumbles. They both happened to go out of bounds. But again, I always say when your corners will tackle and your corners will hit and your big guys will run to the ball, then you've got something on defense. And to see him take pride in not just the coverage part but the tackling part was a really fun for us to see.
Staying on the defense. Jalen Phillips, Coach, dominating. I thought it was a dominating performance. And if it was the old days in college football where they wore a tearaway jersey, he wouldn't have had anything left because they couldn't hold him any more than they did. But he was relentless.
Yeah, he's just so strong and powerful at the point of attack. And as you mentioned, he is quite literally a handful. We'll leave it at that. But we have to just stay relentless at that spot. There are some things and some techniques that we've got to clean up on playing the run game at the defensive end spot that I thought let us down. But it's great to have a guy like Jalen who inspires others with his effort and his toughness.
Coach Diaz, overall, I think your defense held them to 4 of 14 on third down, and we talk about the takeaways and everything else, but you've always been a big proponent on being strong on third down. They gave you that last Saturday as well.
Yeah, we did a nice job on third down. We were good in some crucial situations, especially early. We were good on third down. We were good in the red zone. We made them kick the 2 field goals and held them to 6 at the end of the first half. As I said, we just lost our attention to detail and some focus. We stopped matching up on the routes the way that we should. So there was all this wide open space in the flats and on the perimeter that should not have been there. And then again with Louisville, we have great respect for what they do as an offense. But if you can't get that stretch slow down, it's going to be difficult for you. And we didn't play the stretch nearly as well as we played it last year, and that was disappointing for us.
I think maybe one of the neat things that we're starting to see, I might forget somebody here, but Jalen Phillips, Bubba Bolden, Quincy Roche, Zach McLeod, Amari Carter. You've got some guys with age on your defense, and that looks like it's showing up a little bit. And what kind of impact do you think that will have on your team the rest of the year?
We are a much more mature football team than we were a year ago. There's no doubt about that. I think some of the grad transfers that we brought in have an impact on that. But really, it is that class of juniors. Really, we're a much more junior-laden team than we were in the past. We had a tiny senior class a year ago. We don't have a humongous senior class this year. So a lot of those guys, they've seen some of the pitfalls of the 7-6 and the 6-7 years, their first 2 years on campus, and they know some of the why that happened, and they've taken upon themselves to say, you know what, we're not going to let that happen now that we're the upperclassmen and it's on our watch.
Coach, we got to see another element of Derek King. His arm didn't show up much at the UAB game, but he certainly let it out against Louisville. Just a complete dual threat quarterback, and just has to make it so difficult for any defense to defend him.
Well, yeah, there's no question. You saw the mindset from week 1 to week 2. So, you know, he's got some big scrambles in the opening game against UAB. So Louisville says, okay, well, we're not going to pressure with a lot of guys and create scramble lanes. We're going to drop a lot of guys into coverage, rush with 3, and we don't think this guy can find holes in our pass coverage. And then they do that, and Derek, you know, shreds him on some third down and longs. And it just, you know, and now it's sort of a pick your poison type deal. So I thought our ability to convert some third down and longs, him to make some big time throws in that situation, was something that maybe even surprised them.
Before we get too far down the road, it is Florida State week. Got to touch on the Seminoles. Florida State, Miami, what does it mean to you?
It's like a holiday, you know. I mean, it's, you know, when the schedule comes out, you know, your eyes look down, and the first thing you're doing is when's the Florida State game? And you know, this is a game that, as we all know, what's happened in the past is really irrelevant. There's so much pride at stake. It often produces unsung heroes. You know, the moments, you know, who would have ever thought a Darrell Langham, you know, played a couple plays in the game and makes a catch to sort of stop the streak and get a new one started. So we take a lot of pride in this game. We talk about it, you know, every week of the year here in this program, and it is an honor to be a part of this game first as a coordinator and now as a head coach, a game that's meant so much to me throughout so much of my life.
Coach, I think if you ask any Florida State player, they know their record against Miami. You ask every Miami player, they know their record against Florida State. There will be no need for you to try to infuse energy in practice or at the game this week, will there?
No, that's right. No, I mean, the motivation and the rah-rah, you know, if you need to get motivated for this, you're at the wrong school. And in fact, I think even if you remember the last time Florida State came down here, we might have been overly hyped up in the first half, and it affected our discipline. And then when we calmed down and just went to work on them in the second half, we made the big comeback and won the game. So you got to ride that emotional wave, because everybody's going to be highly motivated. Everybody's going to want it, and that can distract from your focus as well. So you got to just get out there, get into the game, and don't, you know, once you're in the game, ball is just ball, and don't make it more than what it is, and just make the plays that are available to be made.
It's Miami and Florida State coming up this Saturday at Hard Rock Stadium, a 7:30 kickoff. When we come back, we'll have the breakdown segment next on the Manny Diaz Show.
It is now time for the breakdown segment with head coach Manny Diaz. And coach, what do you have for us this week?
The theme of 2020, play the next play. That's really what we adopted as a football team, starting with spring practice. But then once we went in the pandemic, all we can do is play the next play. That's the only thing we can control. That's every day, that's every hour, that's every minute. And this football team at Louisville had a drive that epitomized what play the next play means, and I want to show it to you and all of our fans to give you an idea. Okay. So we're late first quarter, and we've got a 3rd down and 9, and we're backed up. The ball is on our 15-yard line, okay? So the odds are not very good for the offense. We snap it. We got a 1-on-1 matchup with Will Mallory on their safety. Derek has a great pocket, steps up in the pocket, delivers a great throw to Will. So Will's got a big-time play, but this is really mentality of this team. He could have gone out of bounds right here around the 40, but he throws the man off, cuts back against the grain, stays in bounds, and picks up 30 more yards just by refusing to go out of bounds. Just a great mentality play. Gets a sideline fired up on the road. I think the longest play in Will Mallory's career. Just amazing, right? Except what? They call us for flinching right there. That slight movement. Now that happens probably 7 times a game and it's not called, but it's still a penalty. And it's called, right? So a real hammer blow for the football team, because now it's 3rd down and 14. You're backed up way deep. You got all this distance to make a first down. So many bad things can happen, right? Especially if your mentality is where? Still thinking about the last play. But when you talk about play the next play, and you got a quarterback like Derek King who lives that mentality, watch what ends up happening. So again, Louisville says, well, we're going to drop 8 guys because Derek can't throw into maximum coverage. Offense, it means they're only rushing 3. Offensive line is giving Derek all day to throw. And then Mark Pope runs a great route, comes into the field, threatens this safety like he's going to break off a post, and then works it back outside. And look at this laser. Shoom, right there. It's Mark right on the money. Now, what does Mark do? Now he's just like Will, don't run out of bounds, get a stiff arm of the guy, and just barely touches the sideline. Otherwise, he has a chance to go.
And Coach, you spend a lot of time making sure your players understand to live for the next play. And how has this offense and the pace of it helped you with this process?
Because when you go so fast, you don't have time to think about what just went wrong. And you also don't have time to think about what's right. You just go. And it forces you to be present. And greatness always happens in the present moment. It doesn't happen when you're thinking about yesterday or the play before or something else. So just that mentality of like, here we go. It doesn't matter whether it was good or bad. Look at this amazing pocket. You know what I mean? Boom. Rips it out there. First down. And again, stiff arm. And now, guess what happens? Now we get the tempo. And now, guess who's in a bad place? The defensive players, right? Because now they're the ones demoralized. So it was us. Could have been. Now let's see if Louisville can play the next play. Well, now look at the difference. We're already lined up, ready to go. And see the defense? They're already in chaos. So they're already out of their comfort zone. So away we go. Bang. Derek drops back. Rips it right into Harley. Look at the chains. Look, the chains aren't even set up yet for the first down. Rips it to Harley. Bang. First down. Okay? Here we go right again. The next play. Still the poor first down marker guy. Still can't even get lined up, right? All right, doesn't matter. Boom. Hand the ball off. Okay, Louisville's still trying to communicate. Remember, two seconds ago, it was 3rd and 14. Hand the ball off. Offensive line does a great job. Look at all of Louisville's guys knocked off the ball, right? Look at that wall of people. That leaves a one-on-one tackle in the open field with their Sam linebacker. Cam Harris makes a miss. Mark Pope, remember him? He's the one that just caught the 3rd down. He's not thinking about that anymore. He's just thinking about blocking his guy, and he runs his guy just about out of bounds. Cam doesn't want to go out of bounds, so watch him cut back just to he could have gone out of bounds at the 36 right there. But you know what? I'm going to go fight for 3 extra yards, and he gets it out there, right? Boom, big time run.
Now, Coach, back up a little bit. There was a bunch of big fellas working their way down the field, getting ready for the next play as well.
There's no doubt because they got to go, right? They got to go and watch them immediately find the next signal and look at the great job of just everybody here together. Ja'Kai Clark's got one on the ground. Jared Williams is pinning his guy. But the different, just knocking guys backwards. You know, it just creates a short edge for Cam. Really, really nice to see. So again, here we go. We're right back to the line of scrimmage. Louisville's guys, see how we're ready? And they're not ready? They're not ready. Okay? Bang, here we go. We run the same play to Harley. Derek rips it in there. Oh no, Mike drops it. That's devastating. Oh no, let's worry about that. Let's think about how that's going to affect us, in the next play. Or let's not do that. Let's go play the next play. 2nd and 10. We're not worried about that anymore. We move on to the next play. We run Derek. Now, this is actually setting up Jalen Knighton's magical touchdown later in the game. Well, Louisville plays it really good. The reason why they play it really good is because they're not going to play the pass later in the game. But they got us. A tackle for loss. Look at all their guys. They're happy now. 3rd down and long. What are we going to do? You play the next play. And watch De'Aaron King go through his read right here. His read starts here to the field. He looks to the field. They got this guy doubled. Not available. His next read is a tailback. That guy's running out the tailback. Not available. His next read is Will Mallory going down the middle field. Not available. His next read is Michael Redding right there. Not available. And watch him. Look at his footwork. Comes all the way back across the field. And the last guy, the 5th read on his play is Brevin Jordan. Rips it into him. Now, everyone sees Brevin Jordan's long touchdown and all that, but to me, this is a big-time play. When you catch the ball 3 yards in front of the chains and you cut back into the field, you refuse to run out of bounds, and you get a first down. And again, what you see is it's devastating for the defense, it's exciting for the offense, and guess what's about to happen next? Hand the ball to the referee, because here we come again. Look at Louisville's guys on defense, still not ready, just waiting to get their signal. Bang, away we go. Jalen Knighton, right up the middle. Watch your big guys right here, Don. Watch 51 and 62. Do a really nice job working in concert right here. See that cut right there like that? That's the hole we're trying to find. Jalen eventually sees it, does a nice job of ripping it forward. Everyone's going to remember the big highlight run, but that's a really nice gain right there. Keeps the tempo going. 2nd and 6. Remember Brevin Jordan, the one that just made the fun play on 3rd down? Well, this is one for the highlight shows. Because now they all want to chase Jalen Knighton on the run game. They leave a soft safety on top of Brevin. A great block by Michael Redding. How about a freshman in there making big plays in the red zone? Don't run where? Don't run out of bounds in this program. Make them tackle. They don't want to do it. And Brevin almost scores. Oh, what a great play. It's a touchdown. Oh, no, it's not a touchdown. The guy said we stepped out of bounds at the 4. Guess what we do? Play the next play. Line up and play the next play. They do it. They line up, play the next play. I'm telling you now, this is physically exhausting. It's mentally exhausting. So it's a battle of wills. Who's better trained mentally and physically, us or them? We get lined up. Again, a great push. We'll show you from the end zone. Look at a guy like Michael Redding. He's got a pass play on this. Look at him run his route, just anxious and eager to get through in there. Watch the block out here. Boom. Just a guy striking. There's one team that's playing a little more urgent than the other team on the 10th play of a drive. It's actually more than a 10-play drive. It's 10 plays since the bad penalty that took away the 70-yard touchdown. And to get back in the end zone, look at the reaction of Derek King. That's not him throwing a touchdown pass. That's him handing the ball off. And you see that joy right there for one of your teammates? That is awesome. That's leadership. When you spontaneously celebrate like that for the success of someone else, that's being connected. Brevin Jordan, same thing. You know what I mean? Just that's a team that cares about one another. Watch the hold here from the backside. Again, really nice job. Watch DJ Scaife take his guy and move him out of there. John Campbell's got a hard block. His guy is slanting inside, so he's got to try and cut that off. And maybe he won't make it, but you know what he does? Because he doesn't lose his strain. And see how he doesn't lose his strain, and he keeps that guy from making the tackle. And then Ja'Kai Clark and Corey Gaynor riding the nose guard up to the next level guy, gets it in there. And then Jalen Knighton, again, it's fun. But these are the runs. We know he's got impressive speed on the outside. But look, is there a hole right there? Hard to find it, but he sticks it in there and finishes the drive in style. That's awesome. That's play the next play mentality, Don.
Coach, real quick, strength and conditioning, that's a good sign right there that you spent a lot of time on it, and Coach Freely's doing a phenomenal job, and that whole room is making sure these guys are ready to run this pace of an offense.
Coach Freely does an amazing job with those guys, but the other places, that's Green Tree practice field. Yeah. And we went out there in Louisville, and you couldn't have a better night. It was 60-some-odd degrees, everyone felt great. It don't ever feel like that on Green Tree. On Green Tree, the heat index is around 100, and we're doing the same thing. And I promise you, there's not a more difficult place to practice a tempo offense than where we do. But we know if it's really hard on Tuesday and Wednesday, then usually on Saturday it can look like that.
All right, thank you, Coach. That's it for the breakdown segment with head coach Manny Diaz.
Thank you, Don.
The Hurricanes and the Seminoles, a big one at Hard Rock Stadium on Saturday night. For Don Bailey Jr. and University of Miami head coach Manny Diaz, I'm Joe Zagacki, and we'll see you next time right here on The Manny Diaz Show.